Okay, hi everybody. So in this video, we're going to solve x squared minus x divided by x plus 3 squared is less than or equal to 0. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to split this thing up into its different kind of constituent pieces here. So I'm going to factor the numerator down until I've got it looking like this. And you know what? If there were other terms here, even if there were terms on the other side of the inequality, I'd bring them all to one side, put them all together, factor them so it looks like this. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this apart into its constituent pieces here. So there's an x minus 1, and then I've got this x plus 3, and I'm going to leave the square on it. And now I'm going to draw a number line up top here above all of these guys. And we're going to take a look at this. Now, I'm going to investigate their individual behavior separately along the number line, and then I'm going to put them all together. So x, looking at x by itself here, x goes to 0 when x is 0. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. X minus 1 is going to become 0. It's going to take on a value of 0 when x is equal to positive 1. So I'm going to put positive 1 right here. X plus 3 is going to become 0 when x is negative 3. So that's what I'm looking for here. I'm looking for the places where these terms here, these expressions, individually go to 0. Now, don't worry about scale. I know that my negative 3 is just about as far away from the 0 as the 1 is. Don't worry about that. Now I'm going to look back at x here, and I'm going to investigate its behavior. When x is between 0 and 1, it's still positive, in the positive zone. When x is equal to 1, it's positive. And when x takes on a value greater than 1, it's positive. No surprise there. If x is between 0 and negative 3, it's taking on a negative value. At negative 3, it's negative. And less than negative 3, it's negative. Pretty clear behavior with x. X minus 1 goes to 0 at 1 when x is 1. But if x is anything bigger than 1, it'll be positive. If x is between 0 and 1, it's positive. If you plug 0 into that, sorry, not positive, it's negative. I can't believe I just did that. It's negative. If you plug a 0 in, you get 0 minus 1 is negative. If you plug a negative value in between negative 3 and 0 in there, you're going to get a negative. If you plug negative 3 in, you're going to get a negative value. Anything less than that is going to be negative. And that's the way x minus 1 behaves. And actually, that's really no big surprise. Notice that it looks the same as x, just shifted over 1 unit to the right. And that's exactly what I would expect from that. X plus 3 squared, this is an interesting one. Because if you choose a value for x that's bigger than negative 3 and square it, you're going to get positives. But even if you choose a value that's less than negative 3, like let's say negative 5, negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2, but then you square it, and you're still going to get positives there. So the bottom term there is going to be positive everywhere except for where it goes to 0. Now what I want to do is I want to put these things together by putting all their behavior together. Now, at the different special values here, so at negative 3, I've got a negative in the numerator, another negative in the numerator, multiplied together, but a 0 in the denominator, which means the overall result at negative 3 is going to be undefined. When x is 0, I've got a 0 in the numerator, a negative in the numerator, and a positive in the denominator, but that's just going to be 0. 0 times a negative divided by a positive is going to be 0. Over here at 1, I've got a positive in the numerator, a 0 in the numerator. Now, and bear in mind, when I say numerator here, it's because x and x minus 1 are both in the numerator. X plus 3 squared is in the denominator, and that's where it's positive. And that's going to leave me with another 0 there. Now I investigate the behavior on the intervals in and around these numbers. To the left of negative 3, I've got a negative in the numerator, another negative, and a positive. Put those together, I get a positive. In between negative 3 and 0, okay, I've got a negative times a negative divided by a positive. That is also going to be positive. Between 0 and 1, I've got a positive times a negative divided by a positive would be negative. And then to the right of 1, I've got a whole bunch of positives, so the result is going to be positive. Now, my question is asking, where is this less than or equal to 0? And when I look at my overall result here, okay, how the overall function is behaving, I'm equal to 0 at 0, I'm equal to 0 at 1, and I'm negative in between those. And so my answer is going to be this overall result will work as long as x is a member of the interval from 0 to positive 1. And that works.